Some people call it just how mornings feel. Doctors call it something else entirely. This next part is the one doctors wish more patients understood. It's 6:47 in the morning. Somewhere in a quiet bedroom, an alarm goes off. A person opens their eyes and for a few seconds before coffee, before the phone, before the day even starts, their body is already doing something important. For some people, that moment feels normal. For others, it feels a little heavy, a little foggy, a little off. Most brush it aside and move on with the day. But scientists who study the human body have noticed something about those first waking minutes, something that happens to almost everyone, every single day, whether we notice it or not. Today we're going to look at what actually happens inside your body the moment you wake up, why doctors pay close attention to it, and what your own mornings might be quietly telling you. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you get out of bed, your body is already running one of its busiest systems of the entire day. You don't feel most of it. But researchers who study sleep and the heart have found that the first hour after waking is one of the most active and, in some ways, one of the most vulnerable windows in your entire 24-hour cycle. This video isn't about fear. It's about understanding a pattern your body follows every single day and what that pattern can tell you about your health. Here's where it gets interesting. Cardiologists have long observed what's sometimes called the morning surge. According to research summarized by the American Heart Association, heart attacks and strokes are more likely to happen in the morning hours, roughly from the time you wake up through the late morning, than at almost any other time of day. That doesn't mean mornings are dangerous for everyone. It means your body goes through a real, measurable shift the moment you wake up, and for some people, especially those with existing risk factors, that shift matters more than they realize. Let's put it simply. Think of your body like a car engine. Overnight, it's idling. The moment you wake up, it shifts hard into gear. Blood pressure rises, heart rate climbs, stress hormones increase. For most healthy people, this is completely normal. But for people with high blood pressure, heart disease, or diabetes, this shift can be the moment their risk is highest. So why does the body do this? While you sleep, your nervous system relaxes, blood pressure drops, heart rate slows. Your body essentially takes a break. Then, morning comes. Your brain releases cortisol, often called the wake-up hormone, to help you become alert. Your blood vessels tighten slightly, your heart rate increases, blood becomes a little more prone to clotting, which is useful if you're injured, but can be riskier if you already have narrowed arteries. This entire process is a normal, built-in survival mechanism. It's the same system that once helped our ancestors wake up, ready to react to danger. The problem is, in someone with underlying heart disease, that same natural wake-up-and-go system can trigger a heart attack or stroke that might not have happened at another time of day. Picture someone in their mid-50s. They've had mildly high blood pressure for years, but never took it too seriously. One morning, shortly after waking, they feel a tightness in their chest. They assume it's heartburn or stress, or the coffee they haven't even had yet. This kind of scenario is exactly why doctors emphasize morning awareness, not to scare people, but because catching a warning sign early, especially during this vulnerable window, can be the difference between a small intervention and a major emergency. Doctors have known about the morning risk pattern for decades. It's part of why many blood pressure medications are now designed or timed specifically to help control that early morning spike. It's also part of why sleep researchers pay close attention to conditions like sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. People with untreated sleep apnea often wake up with headaches, high blood pressure, or a racing heart, because their body has been under repeated stress all night without them ever knowing it. Not everyone faces the same level of morning risk. According to research compiled by heart health organizations, factors that increase morning cardiovascular risk include high blood pressure that isn't well controlled, type 2 diabetes, where blood sugar can also spike overnight through something called the dawn phenomenon, a history of heart disease or stroke, untreated sleep apnea, smoking high stress levels. Getting consistently poor quality sleep age matters too. Risk generally increases with age, and men have historically shown a somewhat higher rate of early morning cardiac events than women, though women's risk rises significantly after menopause. Estimates on exact percentages vary by study and population, so it's the pattern, not one single number, that matters most here. Here's where most people go wrong. Mistake number 1, ignoring morning symptoms. Chest tightness, sudden dizziness, or unusual shortness of breath right after waking are often brushed off as just stress or just how I always feel. Mistake number 2, jumping out of bed too fast. Sudden movement causes an even sharper spike in blood pressure and heart rate. Doctors often recommend a slower transition from lying down to standing, especially for older adults. Mistake number 3, skipping blood pressure or blood sugar monitoring. People with known risk factors are often encouraged by their doctors to check their numbers in the morning specifically, because that's when problems are most likely to show up first. Mistake number 4, assuming a normal night's sleep means a safe morning. Even people who sleep a full 8 hours can have undiagnosed conditions like sleep apnea that quietly stress the cardiovascular system all night long. The good news, this is one of the most preventable patterns in modern medicine. Health organizations consistently recommend rising slowly, sit up, pause, then stand, rather than jumping straight out of bed. Taking prescribed morning medications exactly as directed, since timing can matter. Monitoring blood pressure or blood sugar in the morning, if you have a known condition. Getting evaluated for sleep apnea if you regularly wake up with headaches, gasping, or extreme fatigue. Keeping stress and hydration in check, since dehydration overnight can add extra strain on the heart. Talking to a doctor about any new or unusual morning symptom instead of dismissing it. More recent research has continued to explore what's sometimes called chronobiology, the study of how our body's internal clock affects health. Some newer studies are even exploring whether the timing of certain medications, like blood pressure drugs, might make them more effective when taken to specifically target this morning window. This area of research is still evolving, and guidelines continue to be updated, so it's worth staying current with your own doctor's recommendations, rather than a single headline. Let's bring it all together. Your body goes through a real measurable shift every morning as it wakes up. This shift is completely normal for most healthy people. For people with heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or sleep apnea, mornings carry extra risk. Simple habits, rising slowly, monitoring your numbers, and treating sleep issues, can meaningfully reduce that risk. The most important step is simply not ignoring what your body tells you first thing in the morning. Your body has been sending you this same signal every single morning of your life. Most people never learn to listen. You don't need to be afraid of mornings. You need to understand them. If this helped you see your mornings a little differently, share it with someone who could use the reminder, and talk to your doctor if any of this sounded familiar. Subscribe for more evidence-based deep dives into the everyday patterns your body is trying to show you. Now here's what doctors actually recommend. We're not done yet. The most useful part is coming up.